It is Monday, the 5th day of September, the very first day of the academic year 2022-2023. Good morning. Thanks for choosing my media, Prime Television. This is Prime Flash coming to you live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. Let's begin today's edition in Kumba, Meme division of the Southwest region, where several residents have been stranded as the floods hit part of the town following persistent rains on Sunday, September 4, 2022. The torrential rains that left several homes and streets inundated caused a landslide around Hilltop towards Fiango. Movement has been halted in several neighborhoods in the town of Kumba as the entire vicinity is flooded. Away from floods in Kumba, schools in 8 out of Cameroon's 10 regions opened their doors this 5th day of September 2022 for the academic year after 3 months of closure due to the third-term holidays. The atmosphere in this nursery school we visited is gradually bustling with parents, kids and administrative staff. School authorities say necessary measures have been put in place to ensure classes effectively kick off. Now, pygmies living in forest zones in Cameroon have expressed worries concerning deforestation and how it affects them as they depend on hunting in a bid to survive. They say the phenomenon has made life extremely difficult for them, as Cynthia Azan tells us.
Pygmies in Cameroon who have been hunting in forests for over 5 years have complained of being homeless as a result of cutting down of trees and destruction of forests. Thick rainforests, which serve as a home for pygmies, are now used as timber exploitations and mining sites. Every year, 8 million hectares of forests is being overexploited, and this creates a problem in Baka forest and generally to the pygmy families. If all this is cut, this Baka area will lose its identity in general. Integration forces, which is aimed at stopping pygmies not to live in the forests and turn forests into national parks, have not been successful. Our lives depend on this forest. This forest is part of us. This is where we got our lives back, and this is where we get our food. So we cannot leave this forest. The need for timber and other uses of trees in different areas have negatively affected the lives of the pygmies, as they are calling for measures to be taken to avoid this threat. These huge trailers pass here every day. They are vehicles that destroy our forests. This is their work on a daily basis. According to reports by scientists, together with the Center for International Forest Research, the hunting area is also at risk.
Now, it's almost a year since prices of basic commodities took a steady rise despite calls for harmonization. Things are yet to change. As such, commercial users of wheat flour and related products have been strategizing on ways to keep their business alive. Staff Lady Darling Gandhi with details.
Contrary to Dr. Nzoba's alternative proposal,
on va débunker le beignet haricot. C'est pas une question de dire qu'on ne doit pas manger, mais on doit savoir ce qu'on mange. Et ceux qui ne veulent plus, ils vont arrêter. Ceux qui veulent continuer, ils sauront au moins.
Mami Makala, a popular puff roll, pap and bean seller based around Bonamoussadi here in Douala, the nation's economic capital, remains adamant to change, especially with the upcoming school resumption. As it can be seen, she is specialized in the sale of puff rolls complemented with beans and locally made corn pap. Talking with this lady to understand her daily motivation, she says she is here to serve the population, especially the students who will be returning back to school, but not without mentioning her biggest challenge, which comes from the augmentation of flour prices amongst other products in the market following the war in Ukraine. We've been into this business, and what was never expensive has become very expensive today. The price of flour has increased, the price of vegetable oil as well. A liter now goes at 1,500 francs. A bag of flour, which used to cost 18,000 francs, now goes at 25,000 francs plus. A cup of bean, which used to sell at 200 francs, is now sold at 250 francs CFA, so we've been left at the roundabout, stranded with nowhere else to go. However, in order to keep the business going, Mami Makala has been able to strategize the way forward. In a bid to make profits, I'm forced to reduce the puff roll sizes. I can now deduce 2 balls of rolls from what I used to sell as 1 piece. A spoon of beans which used to sell at 50 francs now goes at 100 francs just to make gains, and of course my clients are okay with that. On the question of substitutional flour type like cassava, potatoes, plantains, etc., which have all been proposed by the government and other researchers, Mama Makala says that's just a try-by-error adventure to ruin her business, given her adaptation to wheat flour in her own words. No, we can never try to use the other flour types because we are already adapted to the use of imported flour, so it cannot go. And now, the common cry.
The size of the pop-ups they used to be 10 francs at first, but now it's being sold for 25 francs, and the quality is not there.
It is almost a year since the prices of most basic commodities began increasing, yet the year is coming to an end, with little changes being observed on price harmonization. Nonetheless, the common man remains supplicative for the government to level up on their behalf.
Away from price hikes, Let's Talk Health now reporter dwells on this life-threatening disease, blood cancer, and to share practical measures and ways to combat it as well as support patients. The month of September is observed as Blood Cancer Awareness Month. Bukengo Wadi with details in this report.
Also called leukemia, blood cancer is the formation of tissues in the blood, making it difficult for the body to fight off infection and carry out its functions smoothly. Bearing different types including acute and chronic leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, the life-threatening condition has 3 stages with mutations from normal tissue cells to cancerous tissue cells over time. Typically starting from the bone marrow, where blood is produced, blood cancer is caused by radiation, poor sanitation, tobacco consumption, genetic disorder, exposure to certain chemicals, and bears risk factors such as age, family history, compromised immune system, chemotherapy, history of organ transplant, amongst others. Accounting for an estimated 10 million deaths in 2020, as per data from the World Health Organization, blood cancer, however, has a 70% survival rate of all cancer-related cases. Nonetheless, these cases too often are mostly diagnosed in the later stages of the disease, which accounts for the 1.24 million new cases yearly worldwide. What noting is the fact that every 3 minutes, someone dies of blood cancer around the world. With an increase in deaths and new cases yearly, common signs like fatigue, joint pain, fever, nose bleeding, night sweats, bruising, as well as unexplained weight loss should not be ignored. Shedding more light on the lifelong and threatening condition every September, it is important for all to keep hydrated, avoid smoking or secondhand smoke, know family history, eat intentional healthy meals, go for regular check-up, engage in physical exercise so as to help reduce prevalence, death, and achieve the 2030 SDG Goals 3 for good health and well-being.
On our international page, at least 19 civilians have been killed in an attack by radical Al-Shabaab militants on a road in central Somalia. According to local officials and leaders, at least 8 passenger minibuses and trucks traveling on the road between the towns of Balendwain and Magzas were intercepted, bundled and set on fire, killing their passengers. The attackers are said to have abducted several other people whose fate remains unknown, an act widely condemned. The attack took place 2 weeks after a similar attack by Al-Qaeda-affiliated Shabab on a hotel in the capital Mogadishu that left at least 21 people dead and 117 others injured. At least 2 people were killed and more trapped on Sunday after a 7-story unfinished building collapsed in Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos. The 7-story building collapsed in a commercial area of Lagos, with the structure almost completely flattened, according to photographs released by rescue. The bodies had been recovered from the rubble on Sunday, according to Ibrahim Fariloye on the National Emergency Management Agency. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has called for improved construction standards, calling the frequency of building collapse increasingly embarrassing in the country. And Mali's coup leader and the leader of Burkina Faso's military junta on Saturday in Malian capital Bamako met to discuss bilateral cooperation. Colonel Assimi Goïta welcomed visiting Burkina Faso leader Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sanduago, whose visit coincided with the release of 3 Ivorian female soldiers, part of a group of 49 Ivorian military detained in Mali since July 2022. After Mali, the Burkina Faso leader travels to Ivory Coast today as tension grows between the 2 neighboring countries. This concludes today's edition of Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television. Coming up at exactly 10 a.m. is The Brief with Lasha Kingsley and Gladys Bomotongina. My name is Fon Quinter. Today's edition was compiled and produced thanks to Elvis Modika. Developments of these and more be yours at exactly 6:30 p.m. with Eileen Samatu. Then have a blessed day in the company of more programs on the African Eye. Goodbye.